Despite a rough what? Wow, that was unintentional, I promise. No, it was intentional. No, despite a rough start in the beginning of the XY series, it seems that in terms of rivals and all sorts of things happening within the XY series, it looks like we're going full steam ahead. Hello everyone, I'm Dustin and Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY anime discussion. Today we're going to talk about the rivals of Ash and Serena. But as I was saying in my other video, let's talk about Clement. Clement really doesn't have a lot going for him. He's just a traveling companion. He battles whenever he can. But he's not someone that has a goal, like, say, Silent, which was the best example where he had a secondary goal, or he had a secondary goal outside of being a gym leader, and that was being a connoisseur, or the Japanese sommelier, or however you want to pronounce that. And then there's Brock, who at least had something, and he could have a goal out of it because he wanted to be the best breeder, but then it evolved into wanting to become a Pokemon doctor. Clement isn't like that at all. Clement is basically the only rival that can actually be applied to him is unfortunately a fellow inventor, basically, and I'm not really sure how exciting that's going to be. Having a couple of episodes revolving around Clement inventing something and and having the other fellow inventor inventing things. I'm not sure how exciting that would be. It'd probably get boring after a while, but there is Trevor. I did in the other video mention Trevor, and that's because Trevor is kind of the best thing that Clement could have as a rival, I guess. I mean, from what I hear, Trevor is only focused on the Pokedex, so he's not really focused on the inventing side of things, but I suppose in terms of a rival that one could battle frequently or whatever, I guess that's the best option that we have for Clement. So that's why this is mostly going to be about Ash and Serena, because there's really nothing to say more about Clement. So anyway, let's start off with Serena. By the way, later in this video, I will do a mini review of the episode that just aired recently, the Scottie versus Ash episode. There's some interesting things that I would like to discuss, but I figured that I'd save it for this particular video as well, because it is heavily revolved around the rivalry between Ash and Scottie. But before we get into that, let's go and talk about Serena and her rivals. Now, I want to outright mention that I'm going to discredit Aria right now as a rival. I'm not sure she is classified as a rival. I mean, she could be inspiration, right? It's hard to say, but I don't think Aria is quite technically a rival character. I don't think that she's getting keys, and I don't think she's going to be in the master class competing against like Serena and Shauna maybe, and all the other characters that might possibly be in master class or whatever. The problem here is that if Pokemon showcases are like beauty pageants in a particular way, because that's what it looks like. It looks like a beauty pageant. If you've seen movies like Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock or something, you kind of have a good basis of what a beauty pageant is. Maybe I'm sure you may have heard of beauty pageant, even if you don't really know a lot about it. But if I'm understanding correctly in regards to beauty pageant and regards to queens of beauty pageants, the one who actually wins first place, they basically take the whole year off. I don't know if they're allowed to compete in later competitions or whatever, but basically they take a year off and then they just do their queenly duties, and then at the end of the main one, the beauty pageant queen or whatever competition or whatever it is, they sit there and they eagerly wait for the next winner, and they give up their crown to the next person. So that's why I can't exactly say Aria is quite a rival character for Serena for that particular reason. But if you want to count it, that's fine. I'm sure Arya and Serena are going to have some great interactions with each other. Of so maybe she can be considered a semi-rival. But again, I'm not really sure if that's how it applies to Pokemon showcases or showcases within the anime. I don't know if it has the same rules. I would assume it's the same, and that Arya is just doing her queenly duties as Kalos Queen and going around doing performances just as an exhibition, kind of like I would think beauty queen pageants would do that as well. But again, I'm not really sure, but that's the way I feel. So unless we actually see Serena and Arya competing in the same Pokemon showcase, I don't think we can quite classify um, Arya as a rival for Serena. Whew. Sorry. So let's move on to basically the more confirmed rivals that will actually be in Pokemon performances and stuff that nature. We have 3 technical rivals of Serena that are at least confirmed to be in Pokemon showcases or plan on being in Pokemon showcases, especially with one of them. So let's talk about the first one that did show up, I believe, but we didn't know that she was going to be in Pokemon showcases. We just thought it was just going to be a natural rivalry, kind of like Iris and Georgia in the 5th generation. But as it turns out, Miette is going to be a rival for Serena in regards to Pokemon showcases. Currently, her only Pokemon is Slurpuff. With Scottie having a Slurpuff as well, which I'll mention later, I almost have a feeling that they have no choice but to show off another Pokemon of Miette's. Somebody in the comments wanted me to talk about Scottie and teams and what I expect, but it's really hard for me to do that. I will make up some guesses of what they could have, but I have no idea what would work for them. Especially when you consider that Shauna, well, I'll get to that in a moment, but yeah, so I expect the Pokemon Showcase that's going to happen really soon, June 2nd or June 9th or whenever it is. I still haven't got any information of what's going to happen one way or the other, but basically, when that Pokemon showcases with Pancham and Braixen, I expect we're going to see another Pokemon of Miette's. Like I said, it's hard for me to do team guesses because I would have never pegged Scottie with a Slurpuff. If I was going to choose anything for Scottie that's 6th gen, I probably would have gone with Litleo or maybe even Furfrou, possibly. I would have been fine with it. Let's see, is there any other 6th gen Pokemon? But that's Scottie. I don't know I'm talking about Scottie. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, with Slurpuff, I don't know. Let me think about this. What's a good Pokemon for Miette to have? She has a Slurpuff. Slurpuff is like a dog-like creature that kind of looks like a strawberry shortcake looking thing, with a berry on top. Maybe Miette will have Vanillish or Vanillux, maybe? I mean, I'm not saying Miette is going to go for a dessert-themed Pokemon things, but she did show up in a episode revolving around Pokepuff, so maybe Vanillux? That would be actually interesting. It'd be hilarious, but it'd be interesting. But maybe not that. Maybe less like that. Maybe she could have like a Tropius, maybe, or a Cherubi, or a Cherrim. Yeah, I know I'm only thinking of food-related Pokemon, but sure. What else am I supposed to think of here? I don't know. Slurpuff is a fairy type. Super effective against fighting. Let's see. If we assume that Serena's Braixen is going to fully evolve into Delphox, and it's going to be a fire psychic Pokemon, maybe something that would be super effective against it. So maybe water type. I can't think of any water type that looks like food. No, I'm just kidding. Not counting fish, of course. Fish-related Pokemon. Water type. You know, maybe Miette can have a Frillish or Jellicent or something of that nature. That would be interesting. Its Water Ghost, it would be outright super effective against Delphox. But I don't know why I'm thinking of type matchups, because there's not battling in Pokemon showcases, but I don't know. Remember when I was talking about Mega Evolutions in regards to Serena? Because I had to mention it, at least, just as a possibility. All the Pokemon that I said that I mentioned in that video that might be for Pokemon showcases, I might see going to these other rival characters of Serena. So that covers Miette. I think Miette is an interesting character. It kind of seems like, from what I can see, I think Miette kind of has a mix between Zoe and what was that other one? Ursula kind of combination thing going on. Miette doesn't outright like Serena, but they're not like hateful against each other. It's kind of like it's kind of like friends when they're like picking on each other just because they're good friends. Stuff like, "Woo, boy, you reek, man." You know, or something of that nature. But I think it's going to be more of a I think it's being more of an antagonistic type relationship, so that'll be interesting because all these other rivals that Serena has or could have or whatever, they seem more like friendly. So I think Miette's going to have more of an antagonistic relationship with Serena in terms of rivalry. I don't think Miette is going to entirely be antagonistic because if I remember reading what the episode Miette was in, they were basically rivals. They kind of had, they kind of like, they kind of disliked each other, but in sort of a friendly rival kind of way. I don't know if that's accurate, but I think but I think I remember reading something, let the best Pokepuff person win, or something of that, kind of like, when you're battling someone, may the best player win or something. I think they had that kind of attitude at the end of that particular episode, but I could be completely wrong. That's just something that I've read about the episode. So then we move on to the bigger rival that Serena has, that's more of a friendly rival. This one is more like, I wouldn't exactly say Serena and Sean are like sisters or whatever, but they have more of a sibling type rivalry going on with each other. No, not quite that sibling rivalry. You know, the um best friend rivalry going thing on. Okay, not that kind of best friend rivalry. Not the ones where the girls are pulling out each other's just so they can get to the guy or whatever the case may be. I'm not talking about that, but I mean people who respect each other and want the best person to win, or they want the other person to do well. You know, I want to win, Serena, but I want you to do the best you can. I want you to win, Sean, or I want to win, Shauna, but you can do your best or whatever. So it's kind of a very friendly rivalry. I don't know if we ever quite had that within the anime before. I mean, the closest we've got was Zoe and Dawn, but I felt Zoe and Dawn quite wasn't the best friendship type rivalry there ever was. I think at best it was just that they were good friends. They wanted to battle against each other. Dawn had respect for Zoe. Zoe seemed like she was older, technically, in terms of contest. She knew more. Despite the fact that Johanna, Dawn's mother, was a top coordinator, she apparently didn't teach her daughter anything. So yeah, I feel like Zoe, they kind of had like a older sibling kind of friendship sort of thing. Like Zoe was a little bit older and was holding hands with Serena, Dawn to get her a claw. So I don't think, but we've never had any really best friend type rivalries before, and I think Shauna and Serena possibly is the first one. It seems like from what I can recall of in real life, it would be like they would see each other, they would run to each other, they'd like clasp hands and jump up and down excitedly. I feel like that's what the type of friendship that Serena and Shauna have, and so I expect something. I expect that type of relationship to continue because Shauna was very upset that Serena didn't do very well in the first contest. When after it all ended and Serena was in the back with Shauna had this concerned look on her face or whatever. So I kind of enjoy that. We as far as I'm aware, we rarely get those type of rivalries before. Like I said, the most I think we've ever had for female traveling companions of Ash was Zoe and Dawn, but that wasn't quite the same. I felt like there was a difference there. But anyway, Shauna's Pokemon are Bulbasaur, Flabébé, Orange Flower, Swirlix, and Gothita. If you remember in the episodes revolving around Shauna, I think in regards to Pokemon showcases, there was a profile. Well, I don't think it was a profile. It was a PR video of some kind, and it showed Shauna and all her Pokemon. That's where we got Flabébé, Orange Flower. Well, actually, I think Sean actually used her Flabébé in the Pokemon Showcase, actually. Let me look real quick. Yeah, she used her Flabébé in the Pokemon Showcase that she won. Okay. So the other Pokemon that she had was a Gothita and a Swirlix. Now, before I was about to mention that Shauna does have a Swirlix, and we all know Swirlix evolves into Slurpuff. I'm not really sure I agree with that. I feel like one of them, between Scottie, Shauna, and Miette, one of them should have had a Spritzy or Aromatisse, but I guess that goes along with Arya since she has one. But it could have been something else. I don't know what exactly would have worked. I mean, whatever. Whatever could have been the case. It's just a little weird that she also has a Swirlix. So yeah, it's a little weird that Shauna has a Swirlix which can evolve into a Slurpuff. It's a little weird, to be honest with you, but whatever. So I don't know when we're going to see Shauna again. Probably in a couple of Pokemon showcases later or whatever. So that covers Shauna. So like I said, great rival. I think it's one of the best rivalries so far between character and rival because it really is a friendship rival, or it is a friendship rival, a very good best friend. It's like they compete for the same goal, but they'll go to the movies together. They'll talk about boys on the phone or whatever. Did you see Ash in swimming trunks? Oh my God, something of that nature, so I think that's really great and everything, so I don't know what, no, we're just going to move on from that. Okay, so let's move on to Minnie. Minnie hasn't quite done very much in regards to her rivalry with Serena, if you even want to consider it a rivalry. But it seems like Minnie is Serena's version of Scottie, kind of. I don't know exactly if that's quite accurate, because Minnie seems like she at least knows a little bit more about Pokemon showcases than Scottie does about battling. But I feel like Minnie is that younger looking rival character that looks up to, like, say, Serena, and I don't know if Minnie actually looks up to Serena as a person, as a Pokemon showcaser, but what is it, performancer, performancer, I don't know, but basically Minnie is there. She's getting used to Pokemon showcases. She has Pokemon herself. She has a Smoochum and a Farfetch'd, which is an interesting combination, which is why I can't guess for the other characters. Miette, Shauna, I wouldn't know, because Smoochum and Farfetch'd, they're not connected at all. I don't know why they're together, so that's why I can't really do team speculations for them. At least with Ash, Serena, and Clement, I could at least eventually maybe come up with something that at least makes somewhat sense for them, possibly. But with them, I don't know. Nini definitely throws me for a loop. I don't know. Maybe she'll have an Oshawott in the future, possibly. I don't know if Oshawott would be good for Pokemon showcases, but maybe. I don't know. So Nini, I think, is kind of like Scottie, like the younger, like, trainer that kind of looks up to Serena or whatever. So maybe that's what Nini's role is for a rivalry in terms of Ash. Or Ash. Yeah, in terms of Ash, no. In terms of Serena having that someone to look up to, because right now Serena looks up to Arya, so maybe in terms of someone looking up to Serena, I think it's probably going to be Nini. So they have a friendly relationship right now, at least I think. I think Nini does look up to Serena, but I'm not entirely sure on that. So I feel like that's the type of rivalry that they have. They'll probably wish each other good luck, but they're not like best friends like Serena and Shauna are seemingly like. So yeah. I guess that pretty much covers Serena. Let me look at the time here. Oh man. So I guess we could talk. I don't think there's going to be any more rivals for Serena outside of last minute good ones. If you can do more than one competition in terms of beauty queens and beauty pageants in real life, and it does apply to Pokemon showcases, then maybe a past Kalos queen that has come back might be a rival for Serena and might win that queen title again, or maybe it'll be Shauna, Mia, or Nini, maybe, I don't know. Or Serena herself. It's just hard to say for sure what's going to happen. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers Serena completely. They have interesting combinations with each other, so it should be great. So, I guess let's talk about Ash, who has two straight-out obvious rivals that we know of. We have one that could possibly be a rival, but is unlikely because there's no likely chance that that particular character is going to be in the Pokemon League. But maybe more like a budding rival, depending on their Pokemon, and you can probably already guess who I'm talking about in terms of budding rivalry with their Pokemon or whatever. But now I just remembered that I have to add one more just in case that's a little bit more likely than the other one. So let's talk about the basically confirmed rivals that Ash has that we know are going for gym badges and are actually going to possibly appear in the league. And there's two of them. First one was Tierno. Tierno pretty much has a full team. I'm not sure what else he's going to have. Tierno has Wartortle, Ludicolo, Hitmontop, Politoed, Raichu, and stuff of that nature. Or, no, whatever. That's the Pokemon he has. I'm not really sure if there's going to be any, and I'm not sure what else he can have. I don't know if they're just going to give him another water type. I don't know if Tierno is going to get a different type. Might be interesting to see Tierno with the Shiftry or whatever, a breakdancing Shiftry. Can you imagine that? That would be actually pretty interesting. But see, Dance, is there anything? Well, Spinda would actually be an interesting Pokemon because it's probably, I don't know if it's the best user of this particular move, but I think it's the most iconic move, and I think that's Spinda with Teeter Dance. So maybe Tierno will get a Spinda. That might actually be interesting because Teeter Dance would probably fit Tierno's dancing style quite a bit because Not only is it an actual move that actually might cause confusion, but it'd be useful for Tierno. But outside of that, I have no idea. I don't know what would make a good dancing Pokemon, because there's Raichu and uh, Wartortle. Those don't actually strike me as dancing Pokemon. I can see Hitmontop because it is a fighting type and it spins like a top. I can see it. Ludicolo, definitely. I'm pretty sure most Ludicolo dance naturally anyway, going by Mirror Beast Ludicolo in XD Gale of Darkness, or uh, Pokemon Coliseum or whatever. So Politoed is that happy kind of Pokemon, so it would make sense. But other than that, I'm not really sure. Medicham would be an interesting dancer, especially Mega Evolution, but I don't really think Tierno's going to get a Mega Mega Medicham, especially when he has a Wartortle. Let me rewind a little bit because I just thought of it. I do expect Shauna, if she does appear, I expect her to have Ivysaur. I think it's going to have the natural connection with Serena, so if Serena's Braixen does evolve, I expect Shauna's Ivysaur to evolve. So I expect Ivysaur in the future for Shauna. So back to Tierno. Not really sure. I really hope that Tierno doesn't have any other surprise Pokemon, as in I hope he doesn't have more than 6. I think the Pokemon he has now plus one other one would be fine. I really would prefer not to have like Tierno showing up with a Pyroar later on, and then at the league he uses his Rhyperior in a battle against Ash. So hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, then the Tierno's rivalry with Ash is kind of a friendly. I wouldn't say as friendly as, say, Shauna and Serena. But I would say Tierno and Ash kind of have a basic neutral rivalry against each other. They like each other as friends, you know. They like battling each other, and they have a lot of fun. But it's not really a very positive rivalry, and not necessarily a negative one. I think it's kind of neutral. I don't know if they interacted a lot within the actual Pokemon summer camp episodes or arc or whatever it was, but so I think they're just gonna, like, you know, I think it's gonna be kind of like Morrison or Stefan. I think that's the type of rivalry that Tierno's going for. Then let's move on to Scottie, who currently has Slurpuff, Grovyle, and Bagon. Now, here's the miniature discussion of the episode that just aired. As was I should have expected, but I didn't quite expect it. The battle between Ash and Scottie actually ended in a clean sweep by Ash. Pikachu demolished Bagon. Hawlucha demolished Slurpuff. Frogadier had a struggle battle, sort of, in comparison to the other two, in regards to Trico and Grovyle, but Frogadier ended up beating Grovyle. That was kind of what I was expecting. There was some little speculation in my other video that I stated that it would be possible that Ash could just go ahead and win the 2 first ones, and then they could just go ahead and do a 3rd one. I wasn't really expecting that, but they went and did that anyway. I think they were trying to give Scottie some hope that he would be able to beat Ash with Grovyle with Frogadier, but that didn't exactly quite happen. So anyway, to discuss the episode, just the highlights, I'm not going to go in depth, but my favorite parts, and you'll see images of what I can do. Even though we've already seen it, I do like the shot of Trico and Scottie eating whatever it was. I don't know if they were Poke Puffs or Poke Creams or whatever, but they looked really happy and they looked excited. It's actually nice to see a Trico that's actually smiling and happy, because it kind of looks cute. I mean, I liked Ash's Trico just fine. It just wasn't a very happy Pokemon. I guess it got horribly traumatized by having to deal with a dying tree. I mean, I think there may have been possible moments where Ash's Trico has been happy, but Ash's Trico has been basically kind of like sour, basically, you know, not entirely happy, you know, kind of jumping to angry or whatever, but I don't think it was ever quite happy like Scottie's Trico. So it's really nice to see that, that Scottie's Trico, Grovyle, and potential Sceptile would be a happy version of Ash's Sceptile. Ash's Sceptile or whatever was kind of like a loner type, I guess, you know, or whatever the case may have been. So that was really nice. I like it how Team Rocket were right behind Ash and company, and basically when Scottie left his journal notepad or whatever you want to call it behind, that Meowth instantly picked it up and they looked at it, and one of the hilarious moments of the entire episode was Jesse's huge crush on Steven Stone. Later on, I don't know if this is exactly what happened, but it was hilarious to think of in my head as I watched the scene. It was funny seeing Jesse being like, no, I want that picture of Steven Stone because we're going to get married. And there's that image of Jesse in a wedding dress and Steven Stone there. And then when it cuts back to Ash and company, you can see Pikachu, Serena, and Ash like, is this really Team Rocket? Oh, is this really happening to us right now? Is this our lives? and you'll actually see a shot of that because that one was hilarious. I actually laughed. I don't know if that's exactly what Jessie was declaring when she was talking to the brats or whatever, but it's just funny to think of because previously, before that shot, there was the Jessie in a wedding dress with Steven Stone, and then it cuts to Ash, Serena, and Pikachu, and Serena, Ash, and Pikachu are just like, oh, is this our life now? or whatever. It was just a hilarious expression. As for see, is there anything else? I like how Slurpuff likes to lick. It was pretty interesting. One other hilarious moments that I neglected to mention was when all the other Pokemon were getting licked or whatever by Slurpuff or whatever. Bonnie gets all excited. It's like, lick me, lick me, lick me, and so Slurpuff licks Bonnie, and she like giggles like a little girl. That was a cute and adorable moment for Bonnie. It's nice that Bonnie gets a lot of screen attention a lot of the times, you know, just being that cute, adorable child that Bonnie is or whatever. She's very endearing, Bonnie is, you know. So, then see, I don't think there's anything else to discuss. Oh, we saw some of Scottie's backstory. I don't know entirely what was being said as I don't speak Japanese, but he's from the Hoenn region. Oh, and I wanted to bring this up now that I think of it. He got his Trico from Professor Birch in Professor Birch's lab. Then later on, I think after Trico, be a Talo, because I think that was important. Scottie met up with Steven Stone, and surprisingly, there was a lot of talk about Mega Sceptile, or within the actual episode, Mega Jucane, or whatever. Jucane being Sceptile's Japanese name. And there was some indication that Scottie is likely going to have a Mega Sceptile. It's pretty much confirmed at this particular point that we may very well see Scottie later on in the series with a Mega Sceptile. I don't know how likely it actually is going to be because the writers and executive producers could make hollow promises like they have in the past, so it may be possible that they're like, no, you know, Scottie's just too much of a beginner trainer. Even if it evolves into Sceptile by the league, we shouldn't give him a Mega Sceptile or whatever, so maybe we shouldn't. But if they don't care about that and they just want to go ahead and do it, it seems like we're going to see Scottie with the Mega Sceptile, which is unfortunate because when there was mention of Sceptile having a Mega Evolution, Ash looked at Pikachu and was really excited. Sceptile can Mega Evolve? Thanks, writers. Thank you for confirming because of Scottie that we're not going to see Ash with a Mega Sceptile. That was cold and mean. No, but anyway, So yeah, then we get into the battle, which is really nice. Um, we have Pikachu demolishing Bagon. It was nice to see Bagon trying to use Dragon Claw. Iron Tail was just superior. I feel like Hawlucha would have lost if Scottie was more paying attention to the battle, because the only reason that Hawlucha actually won the battle against Slurpuff was because I believe Scottie was trying to take out his journal and read something to try and figure out how to battle against Hawlucha. But Ash took advantage of that situation and had Hawlucha using Flying Press, knocking out Slurpuff. And then I think Ash said something like, "When you're battling, you should pay attention to the battle. If you get distracted, the opponent might take over, or might take advantage of the situation." And I think that was like a teaching moment that Ash was trying to give Scottie. I kind of like this rivalry that Scottie and Ash has. It's like Scottie looks up to Ash, and Ash has like it's kind of like Zoe and Dawn, kind of. Ash being Zoe and Scottie being Dawn. It's just that it's just a more extreme one. It's like Scottie is like the younger brother of Ash, kind of, and Ash is the friendly older brother trying to teach his younger brother how to battle. So then we get into the final matchup, which was Trico versus Frogadier. It seems that the animators or the executive producers or whoever decides what a move definitely should look like within the terms of animation cannot decide what aerial ace should look like. I still don't like I still don't know if I'm okay with a punch and kicking aerial ace. I kind of like the double blade aerial ace that we saw within the gym battle against Ramos, because I really thought that was an epic moment to see within the anime, because it was just nice having two blades going and attacking. It was really nice, and I thought it would be a nice change from Cut. And I thought Cut would have been later replaced. Maybe if it evolved into Greninja, could learn Night Slash or whatever. Because I kind of expect Night Slash to look a lot like Aerial Ace. I don't know if they're going to have like a blade of like purplish coloring or whatever, attacking kind of like Cut is right now. I don't know what Night Slash will look like in terms of Greninja when it likely happens. So not really sure what's going on, but anyway, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure I like the aerial ace within this episode, this Scottie versus Ash episode. But anyway, so we got aerial ace, and then there was a water pulse, and then Trico got a little angry, which kind of reminded me of when Ash's Trico was apparently going through puberty or whatever before it evolved, because it had like some emotional problems right before it evolved, and it was like really angry all the time, and I think that's kind of what happens based on what Scottie's Trico did. It got really angry and then evolved. I wonder if all Trico do that when they evolve. I don't know if we've actually seen a normal Trico with a normal expression evolving. It's always been out of like anger or something, and then they evolve into their respective forms. But Scottie's Trico got really angry, evolved into Grovyle. Then the battle became just a little bit more even. It wouldn't have been quite a clean sweep as it would have had Frogadier just battled Trico. So we saw Grovyle learning Leaf Blade, and then the combination of the battles came to a head. Frogadier finally beat Grovyle, and it started a rivalry between them. Because it seems likely that Scottie's Grovyle is going to further evolve, because the rivalry between Frogadier and Grovyle, as it was kind of said within the episode. I heard rival in regards to Frogadier and Grovyle. I think Frogadier is likely confirmed to evolve at this point. And I'm going to discuss this in another episode in the following video that you'll probably see with Pokemon XY anime discussions of future evolutions and captures and stuff and future storylines. I really think that they're really aiming for Frogadier to be the next evolution that Ash has. I guess we'll have to see if that's actually a possibility, but I do expect Frogadier to possibly be the next Pokemon that evolves. Fletchinder is probably not going to evolve until after September or anything, so I don't know when we're going to get Talonflame or whatever. So anyway, let's finish this video off with a couple more characters that might be considered rivals, and then we'll end the video for the moment. For now, we may touch up on this later on when we get more rivals or more Pokemon for the rivals, and or maybe when you want me to do another video. But I don't think, like I tried to mention, I don't think that this particular next character is going to quite be a rival for Ash in terms of Pokemon League, but with their Pokemon, they kind of have a budding rivalry or whatever, and that's Sandpie. I don't think Sandpie is going to quite be in the Pokemon League, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did, because maybe one of the things that the ninjas do within the Kalos region is that they test their ninja skills in terms of Pokemon battles, and they go and battle the league. So there is possibly a chance that Sandpie going into the Pokemon League would make sense. And when I mean budding rivalry, I feel like Sandpie has always been there to help develop Frogadier, or Ash's Froakie, into evolving, and I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like when Frogadier evolves into Greninja, I think Sandpie is going to be there. So I think Sandpie is like mentoring Ash and Froakie to fully evolve into Greninja, and then maybe in the league, if it's at all possible, maybe we'll get a Greninja versus Greninja battle with Ash's Greninja being superior and beating Sandpie. I don't know. Like I said, it does kind of make sense that the ninja leaders would test their ninja students to battle the Pokemon League, to use their battling skills within battle to see how well they fare. So might just be a challenge, might be interesting, I don't know. And then the one that I think is just a little bit more likely to be in the Pokemon League, because it could be Mega Evolution Central for all we know, and I think that's Alon. Now, Alon doesn't seem like he's going to be getting gym badges and going into the league, so there's no guarantee that he's going to actually end up in the Pokemon League. But because Alon is more focused on battling than, say, Sandpie, I feel like Alon is more likely to be in the Pokemon League, even if it doesn't seem likely right now. I'm not sure, based on the Mega Evolution Axe specials, I don't know how Alon is going to be able to get into the Pokemon League. I don't know if Lysander or whatever sends him away, or the Team Flare thing happens, and then in the main anime series, Nash suggests that Alon get his badges so he can enter the Pokemon League, and possibly battle some Mega Evolutions there, and then Ash wants a battle with Alon to battle against Mega Charizard X. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but I guess we'll have to see. It probably could happen, and I think it's more likely than Sandpie, but I guess we'll see. Outside of that, if that Torchic that I showed you in that calendar for September is not part of the main cast, and it's possibly relating to a rival character, I expect that character to show up soon. And that being said, I feel like there might be a Swampert trainer of some kind that we might see in the Pokemon League. So maybe we'll see like Mega Sceptile with Scottie, Mega Blaziken with somebody else, and maybe Mega Swampert with another character within the league. I don't know if they'd be quite classified as rivals, especially that Mega Swampert possible trainer, but I guess we'll have to see. I think that pretty much covers everything. The relationship between Ash and Sandpie, they're kind of like good friends. I don't want to make a Serena Shauna joke right now. I probably would in regards to Ash and Sandpie, but I think they're like kind of like from different worlds, but they're like good friends. I don't know how Alon and Ash are going to interact with each other, but based on the opening, it seems like they have a semi-mutual respect for each other. So I'm not sure if Ash is ever going to get an antagonistic type rival this particular generation. Of the rivals he has, that probably would be Tierno, but that's not really much of an antagonistic rivalry. So maybe we'll see one in the league, or maybe we'll see one in the future. I'm not really sure. So I think this covers rivals. Like I said, I'm not really sure what to expect for the Pokemon. Scotty, I don't know if he's going to have more Hoenn-related Pokemon or 6th Gen, 5th Gen, 4th Gen related Pokemon. I'm just not sure at this particular moment. So I believe this pretty much covers this particular video. So thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.